Hey, are you eating too much? You can blame your brain. Forget willpower. Brain signals drive what, how, and when we eat. If you're eating too much, here's how to take back control. But before that, let me introduce myself. My name is Sylvie, PN, Certified Nutrition Coach and Fitness Accountability Partner. It's no secret that obesity rates have been rising in North America and other industrialized nations for the past 30 years. It's also no secret that North Americans eat more than they used to, by almost 425 calories per day since the early 80s. So for decades, governments, officials, research scientists, and fitness pros blamed this on a lack of willpower, folks' inability to push away from the table. Diet book authors, TV doctors, and other nutrition experts tell us we're gaining because of gluten, fats, fructose, or whatever the nemesis of the day is. But all this finger wagging never really explains why. Why are we eating so much food, and why is it so hard to stop the eating? The answer lies in our brains. You eat what your brain tells you to eat. Ever found yourself opening a bag of chips, planning to have a small snack, only to find yourself peering into an empty bag just a few moments later? Your brain is to blame. Our rational, conscious brain thinks it's in charge. I eat what I want, when I want it. And I stop when I want to. But we have a lot less control than that. Behind our decision-making processes are physiological forces we've never even been aware of. You see, deeper brain physiology drives what and how much we eat, along with its co-pilots of hormones, fatty acids, amino acids, glucose, and body fat. For the most part, our conscious selves just come along for the ride. So in this video, we'll explore how our brain dictates so many of our food choices, how these physiological forces can lead to weight gain, and what we can do to take the power back. Why do we decide to eat? Simply put, we eat for two reasons. We eat to get the energy our body needs and to keep our biological system balanced, meaning homeostasis. And we eat for pleasure or to manage our emotions. Most meals are a mix of those two, homeostasis and pleasure. You must know that ghrelin, the hunger hormone, stimulates our appetite. It peaks just before meals and falls during and immediately after eating. Yet, ghrelin is not the only factor in hunger or the decision to eat. Hunger and eating is shaped by many factors, including our genes, social cues, learned behavior, environmental factors, circadian rhythm, and our hormones. As you can imagine, it's complicated. However, we know a lot about why we stop eating. Once we've started eating, what makes us stop? This is in part influenced by satiation, the perception of fullness you get during a meal that causes you to stop eating. When we eat a meal, two physiological factors work together to tell us to put down our fork and call it quits: gastric distension and hormonal satiation. Your stomach is designed to stretch and expand, aka gastric distension. Your stomach is also designed to tell your brain about how much stretching is happening. People who want to lose fat should choose more nutritious, yet low energy, high fiber foods such as vegetable, beans, and legumes. Because these take up more stomach space, they can help us feel full, though eating fewer calories. Unfortunately, gastric distension isn't the full picture. While you eat, your GI tract and related organs like the pancreas tell many areas of the brain that food is coming in. Some of these signals travel up the vagus nerve while others enter the brain by different routes. Some of the more important of these hormones are CKK. When we eat fat and protein, the gut releases CKK, telling your brain through the vagus nerve to stop eating. Also, an important satiation hormone GLP-1, seems to stimulate the production and release of insulin and slow down food moving from stomach to the small intestine. Also, when we eat carbs and protein, we release insulin. This tells your brain that nutrients are coming in and eventually tells it to stop eating. Many of these hormonal messages stick around. They can tell us to eat less at later meals too. This is why you should think about your food choices and eating habits in the long term, over the course of a day, a few days, or a week. For instance, a high-protein breakfast might prevent you from overeating at dinner. Together, these physiological responses, along with other hormones and signals, help you feel full and know when to stop eating. Yet, these still aren't the complete picture either. Your brain also drives your food consumption over time. What really matters to your weight and overall health, of course, is what you do consistently, meaning what and how much you typically eat day after day. Your body has a system for managing your long-term energy and nutrient needs. It's called leptin feedback loop. Leptin is a hormone that's released by fat tissue. Leptin tells the brain how much energy we've consumed and how much excess energy we have stored up as fat. The more body fat we have, the more leptin in our blood. The brain makes decisions based on leptin levels about hunger, calorie intake, nutrient absorption, and energy use and storage. Then it cycles back to regulate leptin production in a loop that can help keep our energy and body weight balanced over time. If stored fat and leptin remain stable over time, we are more easily satisfied during and between meals. Smaller portions feel okay, and our metabolic rate stays high. If stored fat and leptin drop over time, it sends a message to the brain that we need to start preventing starvation. The brain responds by lowering leptin levels with several anti-starvation strategies, such as we get hungry, real hungry. We move around less. Our daily movement, like fidgeting, standing up, and anything other than purposeful exercise, goes down. The couch starts looking better and better. We burn fewer calories through movement. Our metabolic rate slows down significantly. How much leptin will go up when you start eating more varies from person to person, and how your brain responds to increased leptin levels also varies from person to person. That being said, most of the time, for most people, the leptin feedback loop works well to naturally regulate our energy expenditure and consumption until we disrupt it. A diet filled with hyper-palatable, hyper-rewarding, heavily processed foods can overthrow the brain's stop signals. In other words, junk foods that are sweet, salty, creamy, and/or crunchy, and full of chemical goodness that spins our pleasure dials. This type of diet prevents leptin from doing its job of regulating our energy balance. It can even make our brains inflamed and leptin resistant. We end up feeling less satisfied, we want to eat more, and our bodies even fight to hold on to the weight we gain. You can't control your unique genetic makeup, your history of dieting, nor your physiological response, but you can control your behaviors. Here are 3 simple, but not necessarily easy, steps you can take to help your natural appetite regulation system get back online and do its job better. Step 1. Eat more whole, fresh, minimally processed foods. Step 2. Eat slowly and mindfully. Step 3. Eat fewer processed, hyperpalatable foods. Step 1 and 2 will make step 3 easier. So if you get more of the good stuff and stay mindful as you eat, there's often less room and desire for the other stuff. Over time, if you do these 3 steps consistently, you'll probably notice you crave highly processed food less and feel more in charge of your food decisions in general. I hope you found some value in this video, and if so, I invite you to click on the subscribe button below and the little bell to be notified of my next video regarding nutrition, weight loss, and fitness. Also, if you would like some nutrition coaching and fitness for weight loss and deep health, don't hesitate to get in touch with me. I will be happy to answer all of your questions. All my coordinates are in the description below. With this, I wish you all the best. Take care and stay healthy.